Good evening, everyone. I am delighted to welcome you to the University of Wisconsin-Madison Spring Commencement Ceremony for Doctoral, MFA, and medical professional degree candidates. Welcome to you all. It is wonderful to be here with our graduates, and it's a special treat after 2 years to be able to welcome in person the many proud parents, spouses, partners, children, siblings, and friends who've supported them to reach this day. A warm welcome as well to all of you who are out there on the live stream. For some of you, there are friends, colleagues, and family members who are with you on this journey, but who cannot be here tonight, and we remember all of them as well. As we celebrate your graduation, we're also celebrating the legacy that you carry forward. It began 130 years ago when UW-Madison conferred its first doctoral degree on a young man named Charles Van Hise, who later became the first UW graduate ever to serve as president of this university. Just 1 year later, Kate Everest of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, became the first woman to earn a doctoral degree here as well. From those beginnings, we've created graduate and professional programs consistently ranked among the top in the nation. The programs that drew you here 3, 4, 6, maybe more years ago, and that bring us the best and brightest scholars from across the globe. The people who have become your colleagues and your lifelong friends. No matter what school, college, department, institute, or research center you've been part of, I hope you found an extraordinary community of scholars whose intellectual excitement and depth has reinforced your own passion for your work. And I hope you've experienced the value of our long-term commitment to solving problems out in the world, what we call the Wisconsin idea. That commitment to using our knowledge to serve others has driven 5 generations of discovery and innovation on this campus. The Wisconsin idea led us to discover how to mass produce penicillin, saving thousands of lives. And now it's driving our work to develop the next generation of antibiotics. The Wisconsin idea drove us to eliminate the once common and devastating illness called rickets. And now it's driving our work to mitigate the effects of Alzheimer's disease. And the same Wisconsin idea that drove us to pioneer radio broadcasting has now made us a center of excellence for research on the effects of modern digital media on our politics and our well-being. This proud legacy has shaped each of you, and for some, the impact has been life-changing. Laura Livingston is a great example. Laura, wave your hand. I know you're out here somewhere. Laura came from a family with deep roots in the West Virginia coal country. When she came to UW, after spending 2 years in the Peace Corps, she didn't know much about the Wisconsin idea. She simply wanted to learn how to develop better food systems, and she knew that UW-Madison had one of the best programs in the country. But when she saw how sharing academic knowledge and resources with communities can drive transformative change, she was inspired. She joined the Morgridge Center for Public Service, where she's been a graduate mentor, helping hundreds of students develop community-engaged projects. Laura will now carry her passion for outreach with her to a tenure-track faculty position as Director of Sustainable Agriculture at Chatham University. Congratulations, Laura. Michael Becken is another great example. Michael, wave a hand. There you are, right in front. Michael has found a way to combine his love of golf with his interest in sustainability to create a first-ever scientific measurement system to estimate the resources a golf course should use when it's operating efficiently, which is, of course, an increasingly pressing issue as courses are scrutinized for their water and their pesticide use. He worked with golf courses around Wisconsin to help them use their resources more efficiently and is now sharing this system with cities and private courses across the U.S. to help them assess where they can make changes. Michael recently received a Fulbright Fellowship to work on issues related to climate change at the University of Oslo in Norway. And today, he receives a PhD in soil science. Congratulations, Michael. I could keep going about every one of you. No matter your field, each of you in your time here has helped to create new knowledge and share that knowledge in ways that make people's lives better, which is the highest and best calling of science. Your work here has been careful, precise, and alert to the types of patterns that can lead to important discoveries. You look at data and you draw conclusions only after investigating all alternative possibilities. In other words, you've learned to think about the world in a way that is very different from the arguments and the shouting that have characterized so much of our public discourse in recent decades, which makes what you do both more difficult and more important than ever. These past 2 years have been a period in which we experienced what Rebecca Solnit called a series of overlapping emergencies related to economic uncertainty, political polarization, climate change, racial injustice, and a global pandemic. And these things have affected all of you in your studies. Some of you have faced particular challenges to reach this day. Some of you had to entirely restructure your teaching as a result of the pandemic. Some of you faced much greater caregiving responsibilities. Some of you had to delay or redesign your research. And some of you were on the front lines, doing clinical work or research related to COVID-19, working as first responders or helping in testing and vaccine clinics. For all that you have accomplished, under historically different circumstances, you have made it today to graduation. And please give yourself and one another one more round of applause. When the pandemic forced us to cancel many of the meetings, trips, conferences, and activities that we were all accustomed to juggling, something interesting happened. We found time for things like cooking and gardening and playing music. And we figured out how to do our work in new ways. And that's led to a lot of changes. Here at the university, for example, in the first full year of the pandemic, we tracked a big spike in the number of grant proposals being submitted, and the result was millions of new dollars for research. Now, none of us would ever wish for a pandemic, but I hope that living differently in the last 2 years has given you some new insight into how you want to spend your time. Maybe some of that travel really wasn't necessary, and maybe a little more time spent gardening or taking a walk can actually help you work more productively. Each of you is now part of a very small and a very powerful community of the most highly educated people in the world. I hope you'll use your education wisely to make the world around you a better place. You are also part of a big worldwide family of Badger alumni, more than 460,000 strong. Thank you for being part of this community. Best wishes as you set off on the next stage of your journey. Wherever you go, come back and visit us ever so often here in Madison. Congratulations, and on Wisconsin.